Hi everybody. This video is going to be a little bit different. Normally I update you on things that are happening in my world in trucking, trying to just give you a different perspective from my side anyway. This one, I've been hesitant to do this one because I don't know if I've mentioned it before. I don't like to get political. And I'm going to try and do this without getting political, but if I do, I apologize in advance. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but diesel reserves are down. They're concerned that the diesel reserves are down to 25 days. Now, what that means, that doesn't mean that there's not, in 25 days, all trucks are going to have to shut down because we can't get fuel. What that means is if we were to stop producing or adding to the current usage from outside sources, outside of the diesel reserves, then we would only have 25 days. But that doesn't mean that that's what's going on. We are still producing oil, or we are still getting diesel added into the supply chain for diesel, just not as much. Typically we run 35-40 day reserve, so 25 is not horrible, but it's not good either. And what that means is that diesel prices are going to have to increase because the law of supply and demand. There's more demand than there is supply, so prices are going to go up. Now that doesn't mean that only trucking is going to feel it. Everything that runs with diesel is going to feel it. Trains, boats, those big container ships, those run on diesel. Some people have diesel cars. It's also going to affect heating fuel. So, and they're saying that winter is going to be colder this year, which means heating fuel is going to be harder to purchase. It's going to be a higher price. Matter of fact, in England, they're already predicting that this winter, now I know this is in England, but England, they're predicting that they're going to have over 10,000 people freeze to death because there's a shortage of fuel. And in Germany, they've already clear cut several acres of forest, of ancient forest, so that they can heat their homes this winter. So do what you can. I'm not saying all is dire. I'm just saying that you need to be prepared. Also, the other warning I wanted to give out, because of how things went this last growing season, there wasn't a lot of rainfall throughout most of the country. Diesel has been high for well over a year. I mean, it's very rare to see any place that has diesel less than $5 a gallon. Typically, you're seeing diesel anywhere from $1.50 to $2 a gallon higher than gasoline at any of the truck stops throughout the United States. So whatever you're paying for gas, add $1.50 or $2 a gallon, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm running about 75-80 gallons a day. And that's just my truck. So, and farmers were having to deal with those prices for their equipment. They were also dealing with the supply chain shortage for parts to fix their equipment, so their equipment wasn't even, if they could get it to power up and run on diesel, some of it wouldn't because they were missing parts that they couldn't get, so it delayed stuff. And these parts are important to the farmers because it's how they produce food on their fields. Not only that, they were having issues with rain. A lot of typically a farmer runs, now I'm not an expert on farming, just because I've never done it, but because of what I do for a living, I have talked to several farmers, and this is what I've been informed, is that typically best case scenario, a farmer is running a quarter of his fields fallow. Fallow means that they're not growing anything, they're giving the land time to rest. They'll run three crops on 4 lots, and rotate them. So each year, one of the lots will get, product 1, product 2, product 3, rest. And that's how they run it typically. Now, based on just my observation, no scientific studies or surveys or anything like that, in the states that I did frequent this summer, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, the growing areas of Colorado, Oklahoma, Utah. Now, I can't say California because I didn't do a whole lot of visiting in California, so I don't know, but I do know that California had its own rain issues. But in the states that I did visit, I was seeing anywhere from, on the low end, 15%, on the high end, 50% of the fields were running crops. We're not running fallow, which means the opposite number. So anywhere from 50 to 85% of the fields were fallow, which is at least half or double what normally runs under prime circumstances. And I can tell you that as of a week ago, Nebraska, Kansas, and Iowa were pretty much done with harvest, which means that it was lean. It was very, very lean. Typically, you would be finishing up harvest shortly after Halloween in those areas. But so there's going to be issues with food this winter. I mean, that's not even getting into what's going on with food coming out of Europe or fertilizer coming out of Europe. That's just what's going on here. So this winter is going to be really bad. So, like I said, I'm trying really hard not to get too political or too preppy, whatever. But it's coming because of what I'm seeing. If nothing else, things are going to get really expensive, and you're going to have to get creative. You may not be able to get the brands that you want or the particular foods that you want. You may have to get creative and be flexible in your choices. But do what you can. Stock up now so that if it gets to the point where there's nothing there on the shelves, be it the food shortage or the diesel shortage, that you and your family are prepared. And I apologize. I try to keep things light, but I needed to get this out there. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to message me or leave a comment. If you want me to keep producing, go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and I will touch base with you next time. Thanks. Bye.